Oh, I just got the
Good dang. Hey everyone. Welcome to our weekly write-in. I'm author Tillery. I will let Aphrodite introduce herself, and then we'll run through introductions, and then we'll get started on our first question for the night. Aphrodite, you want to go ahead and introduce your stuff and such?
my stuff.
Your stuff.
Well, hey everyone, I'm Aphrodite. And tonight we just got a lot of work we got to get done.
That's true.
That's what's going on.
What are you working on tonight?
I made some corrections to the encounter story, but KDP for whatever reason still hasn't done the update, so I'm going to work on that.
That's
right. Basically do some sleuthing to find out what's going on, because I don't want it to keep going out there with stuff that's not right.
Yeah, I get that.
Then, which that should be minor, but then I'm going to do some proofing for Shattered, the big story that's coming out this year.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of work right there.
Yeah, it is. I'm enjoying it a little bit because it was edited so well.
Yeah,
but I still hate proofing, because proofing your own stuff, you're still going to pretty much miss 80% of what you missed the first time. So
yeah, that's true. I know.
My people getting back to me with their finds.
Yeah, it probably won't be as many finds as has already been edited already professionally. So
yeah,
that might help.
It is helping because I'm not finding a bunch. I'm finding some, but not a bunch.
Yeah, I'm sure it's never going to be perfect. There's no such thing, a perfect book. So I mean, some things I'll just be like, whatever. Most people are not going to see them. Your eyes catching them because you're looking for them, and on top of that, being a writer, you're going to see a little bit more than people who are readers. In most cases, there are readers that will find things or see things or something, but in most cases, most readers don't even pay attention to it, to be honest with you.
Right.
So, like, the one chick I know who I told to get the book because she would like it, she didn't mention anything about anything. So
that's awesome.
She didn't see anything like that. Because when a story is good, no one's paying attention to that stuff. When a story is good, that's just a fact. They're too into the story to even notice errors. Their mind will read exactly the way it needs to.
That's probably the way I was trying to.
Exactly. That's usually what happens. Like if I'm into something, reading something, my mind knows what the next word should be, rather it was spelled wrong or the wrong word used.
Or missed the word entirely.
Or misword entirely. I don't really, if I see a book like that in a writer, I'm not going to be like, well, this writer sucks, or get angry about it because there's a missed word. Or, how many books I've seen where the word is supposed to have been his and it was just is.
Oh my goodness.
Because the H was gone. Thing. It happens. Like,
that happens to me all the time because my H key doesn't like me because I hit it all the time and it doesn't like me. No, I'm not even kidding.
I'll be typing really, really fast. I miss a letter because I'm typing so fast. So
I'm hard on keyboards.
It happens. But yeah, I understand that game, that proofing game. Ugh. I hate editing. Actually, editing is the worst part of the process, in my opinion.
Nobody said.
I know there's like very few writers I heard say they like the editing process. I don't like it at all. So.
For those two weirdos that do, good for you.
Yeah, pretty much. I will be working on a blurb I'm writing for one of my book covers because it's a whole wrap because there's a printed version of it too. So I have to finish that blurb, and that shouldn't take too much because I'm not going to put too much into that blurb. And then I will probably go attempt to edit 3 blurbs the ones I still have not finished editing for one of my book series that I'm probably picking up the covers for that in about, I think I have 2 more payments on that one.
Oh, can I tell you my cover drama real quick?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, to be 100% honest, I didn't like the cover anyway, but I thought it was cheesy and tongue-in-cheek and cheeky, so I felt like it would work.
Yeah.
So when I got the cover, I got a really good deal to get that was the ebook cover, to get the paperback cover done. And long story short, she still hasn't sent it. And I'm telling you, weeks ago, like I'm saying, my book is dropping on Valentine's Day.
I may have cut you up, but did you purchase the back of the wrap when you purchased the?
Yeah, I purchased them at the same time.
I'm confused. Why did she give you the ebook and then didn't give you that a while ago? So I know
You have to know your page count in order to get the sizing for the book right. So the paperback version of the book, even though I knew that it was going to be 5.25 by 8, I still didn't know how many pages it was. The same thing with my other. Until I have my page count, then they can't build it because they have to get the spine and stuff right.
That's fine, but still, they could have made the mock-up for it. And then
I'm sure she did, but she still can't send me without knowing what the.
Well, I get that.
But here's the thing.
But I mean, I've had. That's the reason why I'm saying it, because I've purchased a good amount of book covers with wraps, and they asked me, you know, how many pages, who am I publishing with, blah 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 blah, all the questions that you ask for the size, and they still are pretty fast with it.
But I didn't have a page count.
Like, I know, I get you.
That was the problem.
Because I didn't have it either, because technically I'll have to, in most of my cases right now, since I'm buying book covers in advance,
right,
I have to kind of pretty much pick up page count and stick to it.
Right.
So
you go on, you got a good window. That's the one thing. Like, you have like 100 pages to 150 pages, then 150 to 200 and whatever. You have a pretty good window as far as your width could be, which is kind of cool. So I knew this bad boy wasn't going to be over 200 by any means, and it was getting closer to 150. So when I gave her the specifics, I knew that even if my count went under or over, I was still going to be okay.
Yeah.
And when I gave it to her a couple weeks ago, and she still. Here's my thing. Shit happens. We are humans. Stuff goes on. But unless you are dead or in a coma, you can send an email saying shit is happening.
Yeah, that's what I said.
She burned the bridge with me, 100%. Like, even if she can't do anything to make up for that, because what if I wasn't clever enough to make a new book cover, or what if I didn't have money to commission someone else to do it? So on top of that bullshit, now I had to change the cover of the ebook to match the cover of the paperback because KDP wasn't linking them.
Yeah, I know it wasn't linking them.
So I know
when I bought the physical copy, I put the review I did for the ebook over on the hardcover. I mean the softback,
right?
As well, so that way it could be on it, because it just wasn't connecting them. It's the same book, so.
Right. So I had to go in and talk to the KDP people about getting them linked, and I changed the cover. So I'm like, whatever. So she burned the bridge.
Yeah, you gotta the cover thing. It's just like, it's an interesting game. Tell you that.
Yeah, right, so I really don't appreciate that.
I know it's. I don't know. I know which group it's from too, because I'm in it. So. I can't trust that person apparently.
Yeah, it's a couple people in that group I really like.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's do the first question. The first one is this is behavior this week for characters. So, how does your top 3 characters, protagonist, antagonist, helper / or love interest, describe themselves? You want to go first?
No.
Okay. I will go first, and I will just do Chronicles of Cagliostro. I would say Cagliostro would describe himself as, for the longest time, a loner, because he's the last, or the only one of his kind at last, because it was never one of his kind. He's the only one of his kind, so doesn't necessarily fit in with any of the different types of beings he is in his blood. So he was definitely a loner, he would have said. And he is very, very serious at times. So he doesn't really, Cagliostro doesn't crack jokes. So I do have, that's our alarm. I do have characters that crack jokes, but Cagliostro is not one of them really. he starts to loosen up a little bit as the story progresses with Allison, his love interest. So he definitely would explain himself as a loner type that stays away from most beings in general. That's why he lives where he lives and on the other side of the veil. Right. My antagonist would describe himself as a all-powerful being.
Omnipotent.
Yep. A very all-powerful being, and he gets what he wants. And it's no one's concern what his wants are, but they will find out when it's happening. So he definitely is a cold one. He's only actually kind to Allison, it seems, but for his own reasons. He's always calculative. Everything he does has a point, even when it's just a game for him. He has a point to his games, even if it's just ending in his pure joy of doing it. So, a point nonetheless. Allison would describe herself as a tough, go-getter type, loyalist for sure. She's definitely got the loyal thing down, unless she fucking hates you, of course. And you don't really give us a hatred. There is one part in the book where she gets her memory back, because that's not a secret that she has lost her memory. She gets her memory back, and she is reverted back to herself, previous self in a way, and it's not gonna. Her and Cagliostro are gonna have a disagreement, to say the least. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, that's how those three would describe themselves. I'll let you go now.
I'm gonna do Shattered, because Shattered is my big book.
Of course.
I mean, I love the stuff that Minx does, but Minx does stuff for fun.
Yeah.
So for Shattered, my MC is Aaliyah Shaw, and she would describe herself as well. First, she probably would describe herself as lonely. Because even though she is around a lot of people all of the time, she's still alone. She doesn't feel like she's ever a part of anything or anybody else. And even though people do gravitate towards her, it's because they want something.
Yeah.
It's not because they want her. And she recognizes that. The other thing to say about herself is that she is ridiculously smart. And she has no problem with owning that she is really smart and that she is really talented. So a lot of people try to, they'll be like, I don't want to say more modest about it. She isn't. It's not like she's not modest. She's more, she's aware that she has gifts.
Okay.
So it's not like she walks around like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be good. She knows her shit is good.
Right.
Just feels like she will not be the kind of person who's appreciated even though it is good.
Yeah.
And then that's Aaliyah. For Chase Sophos, the antagonist, he would actually describe himself as a forward thinker. And he kind of is a forward thinker. He isn't, I don't want to give away too much. He isn't he's the kind of person that looks at the whole picture. He really, even though now we're not gonna say the boy's sane, because he is not, but he does look at the whole picture. He's the first person, like, if these people do this, he can appreciate it and not think that how he does everything is the best or is perfect or the only way. So he does have that going for him. That's how he would describe himself. There's a whole lot more aspects to him if somebody else was describing him.
True enough.
For the love interest, Spencer Caprio would describe himself as lost, and not only lost, but the kind of person who causes lost. Because he feels like anything that ever comes into his world that's good goes away.
Right.
Which is because that's all he's pretty much known. The only person who has been constant in his life has been his sister.
Yeah.
So he feels unattached.
Yeah,
So
I get that.
Until he met Aaliyah, of course.
Oh, of course. Makes
I'm just
sense.
saying that's want to describe him, post Aaliyah. He would just describe himself as ridiculously happy and fuck the world.
Uh,
But yeah, those three would roll.
awesome. Okay.
And we're gonna
Um,
read.
yeah, we'll have another question after our first writing, which we are about to conduct. It is 8:20, so Eastern Standard Time, or where everyone else is. So we're going to do a 15-minute write-in, and then we'll be back. I guess that makes us be back around 8:35, and I will count it down. Everybody can comment what did they worked on and what their word count is, or editing, or whatever we're doing.
And
All right.
answer the question.
Yep, and you can answer the question as well. And then we'll be having another question, like I said, when we come back. All right, I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1, and right.
All right, all right.
Okay, and we're back. Oh.
It always feels quicker than it should.
I know, right? Definitely. Oh boy. So how'd you do?
I finished a chapter, so I'm a little
Oh,
proud
cool.
of it. It was a short chapter, but I
Hey,
finished.
chapter's a chapter, right?
I think my eyes are gonna give up on me before I can get much more done.
I probably need to rest them.
Yeah. Or
Maybe
so
we should only do an hour tonight.
I'm a little worried about that because I really need to get this done, but it is what it is. I can't make my eyes work if they don't want to.
Know that right.
I got my big Woodsy the Owl glasses. Stop some of the glare, hit me directly, but
Yeah.
may not be enough tonight. Such is my life.
I see D Winters joined us, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. I did because I'm when you're doing the blurb, and I've been doing this lately, which is not good. I'm not advising anyone to do it this way, believe me.
Not
since
advice.
I have a cover problem. So I have so many stories anyway, so I can always find a cover to match stories that I write. Because I do buy pre-mades a lot too. So the one I got recently is a dark romance, and it was just made, and then as soon as I saw it, I purchased it. And she has very good deals because it's the entire wrap of the book. She does a 3D mock-up, a Facebook banner, the tagline, teaser, and something else you get for only $40. So that's a good deal.
Oh yeah, that's a great deal.
Yeah. So I got that one, and it matches very well. So it's a romance. Obviously, I write those a lot. And I'm trying to write the blurb for it, but this is like if you write the blurb before you have an outline and a story, and then your blurb is an outline. That's what happens.
Well, I did that with Shattered. I had and you know how you know what you want to write, but you haven't written it yet.
Right.
And I used that info to write the blurb, but the blurb did wind up changing after I wrote the book.
Right.
But it didn't change. It wasn't like a drastic change. I would say it changed 20%. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I get that. So I only wrote about 100-something words because I was messing around with the story a little bit. So.
Oh my God! I anytime it calls for me to do any summation, I suck. Like, do not tell me to take my 120-page screenplay and put it in one line.
Oh Lord!
There are people who are gifted who can do that, and I just applaud them. I can't. I struggle, I should say. I've had to do it, and I
suppose I could do it if I, because the blurb is like, to me, I'm trying to. That's a selling point of my book, because if you're, looking at a paperback in the store, you look at the cover, catches your eye, and maybe the title after you see the cover, and then you flip it over, and there's the blurb. That's your chance to grab the audience. The person is reading the back of that blurb, like that's your chance to get them to purchase it. I think what you sent me, the way that what's her name does it,
the Jenna Moreci formula.
Yeah, Jenna Moreci formula.
That's what I call it.
It does work for me. That does seem to work for me.
It's the only thing that works for me. It's the only thing that I
just remember it kind of now. I just do that. I'm kind of like, okay, well,
isn't it great? Like it's just so,
to me it works
perfect sense. Yeah, she changed my life with that one, because even though I use it, and then I still have to, I'll put in like I'm good at words. I'm a verbose chick. It'll be too long.
Yeah.
But being too long is better, because then you can edit.
Yeah, that's true.
So I use that formula to get my blurbs done. If it wasn't for that, I'll be still struggling. I ain't gonna lie.
It worked really well when I did the 3 blurbs for my angelic series,
Right.
the broken series. So I did that blurb, those 3 blurbs I did in like an hour. I did all 3 of them with that formula. And then I haven't gone back to the formula because I kind of memorized how the layout goes and the questions. So I was using that just now. So I did get most of the blurb finished, but I changed up. Like I had to figure out like how I wanted the story to play out pretty much in my head before I do the blurb all the way. So then I was like, okay, well, this happens and this happens, or who do I want talking on the back of the book? And then I switched up who I wanted to be the lead role. Because, you know, most of my books it's the male, but I kind of want this story to be where, because in most of my books, obviously the male is devoted to the female, and it's a balance of the love interest. So this one, I wanted it to be from the other perspective, where the female is devoted to the male. But this story is kind of like two halves of one soul, and it actually means that literally not just a feeling or emotion based around that, but literally they are halves of one whole. So, you know, all my stuff has to be based outside the human world, and I usually bring in human world aspects. But yeah, so I was just trying to figure out who I wanted to be the lead role, because that depends on who's going to be talking on the back of the book with the blurb, or who's going to be, you know, leading the story. So that's what I was trying to decide. So I'm writing 2 different parts of the blurb, because I have 3 parts of the blurb where there's introduction. They're introducing themselves. So it's like Damien and Ava. They both introduce themselves, or pretty much say what they are in the story, or their take on it. And then I have who's going to be the lead characters, the third part of the blurb, and they're going to pretty much introduce the story arc, like what's the story about, kind of thing. So that's what I was doing, but I'm writing 2 of those, so I have to see which one do I prefer, you know, to be the lead role at this point. So
I always do my blurbs. I answer my Jenna Maressi formula questions based on however POV and tense that I use in the book.
Yeah.
So that's the part that goes smooth. My problem with writing them isn't that I can't write words, it's that I can't do it succinct.
Yeah, because it's like a small thing.
It takes me a few goes to get it to where it's tight. Whereas before, because I just want to go and tell a story, I'll be to tell the whole damn story again all over on the damn back of the book.
Yeah, and that's not what you want. That one. Yeah, you don't. You want to grab them with interest. So it is not easy, because you have to do that, but you don't want it to be too vague, and then you don't want to give it too much away. But then you want it to be interesting, but then you don't want it to be too detailed. So he's like trying to play this little game here on the back. So you know. But yeah. All right, so let's do the second question before I get too far off in the tangent. The second question, if whoever's here now, it wasn't there earlier, we're doing behavior for characters. The second question is, how do your characters carry themselves / behave? And if you weren't here for the first question, it was based on the top 3 characters: your protagonist, antagonist, and / helper or love interest of the 3 main characters of the book. So think about, how do they carry themselves / behave? All right, you want to go first, or do you want me to?
Yeah, for Aaliyah carries herself confident, and she's also kind of like a wall too, a brick wall. Mainly because just that she's not going to let you bother with her. So she carries herself tough, and she is tough. So it's not like it's a fake wall. It's a brick wall.
Yeah.
She's not, I shouldn't say you can't, because you can cannonball somebody's wall down. But you're not going to just mess with her and her be a wallflower about it. That ain't, she don't play that. So she carries herself as lonely as she is, as left out as she feels. She still carries herself with, you can't mess with me either. I don't care if you think that you're better than me or whatever. You're not going to mess with me. So that's a Leah. And for Chase, Chase carries himself with complete and utter, the world is my oyster. I got this. I have no worries. Anything I do will have good repercussions that fall for me because I am Chase. And he feels that way for a lot of different reasons, mainly because that's just how things have been for him. His family's money will protect any bad that he gets into. His family's money will do any promote any good that he wants to do. So he feels like the prince of the world.
I
That's
know
how he
that's right.
carries it.
I don't know about him.
Poor Spencer, he carries himself as tortured because he is, and
Yeah.
he carries himself as he's kind of, I hate this word, but I can't think of one right now. He's kind of emo, you know. He's like he's dark and distant, but not brooding. He doesn't sit around like, you know, like, oh well, he has lackluster. He has no care for anything. He's just basically waiting to not exist.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
I know, poor thing. So I like Spencer.
I love Spencer.
Let's see. So Cagliostro, my main, he carries himself in a very professional manner. He's not. He was loved by his parents, but he does not. It's not in him to show his exact emotion, far as like affection and things, until Allison, of course. Even though he had previous relationships and things, he would hold certain parts of himself aback. So he's definitely he's a professional type. He's not the overly emotional type. But like I said, his character does grow. So
right, and that's important that they do grow.
Yeah, it's important. But yeah, he definitely is the professional type. I mean, he wears suits all the time. Like he does. And when he's being professional mode, his hair is not down. And when he's not, though, his hair is down. That's like one of the things that that you can tell when he's in relaxed mode is when he has his hair down, because he literally slicks his hair back.
So he lets his hair down.
Yeah, he literally does. Like that's his thing. And he's straightforward in most cases when he says something, or if he has nothing to say on a subject, he will watch. He's very wise. I would definitely say definitely wise type. And he can be quiet, but he has plenty to say, but he only really talks when he thinks it's relevant to the point. So,
right.
So I like that type. He's very wise and intelligent. I guess it might come to from being one of his only kind. He doesn't really have anyone to relate to the things that he had to go through.
He sounds like an owl, the kind of person that's really smart, but they watch and they only like interject when it's important enough to do so.
Yeah, definitely. So that's Cagliostro. And then Allison, she that girl. She
I'm gonna get a shirt now that says that girl.
That girl. She is, when you first pick up on Allison, like, cause she seems like she has two personalities, especially when she gets her memories back. I mean, when she first comes on the scene, she's kind of, a little like standoffish, possibly, because she doesn't know Cagliostro, but he saved her, so she's kind of unsure what to think of him. And so I guess you could say that she is a little close off, but she slowly unthaws, and you notice that she's a passionate person, very passionate and strong, willed. She doesn't take well to being told what to do. so
she's obstinate too.
Yeah. So you find out, then her memories come back, and it seems like it got worse because she's already passionate and defiant, and being an adult too, you're gonna be like, well, I could be defiant. Who's gonna stop me? Type of thing. But
how old is she? I'm not gonna ask about the other people because I know they have issues. But how
age
old?
issues. Oh, Allison is, I think I'm trying to remember her exact age at the beginning of the book. Allison is around 27. She's 27. Um, she has not been alive that long compared to everyone else in the story.
Right.
So that's something new for her. Like, even though she's a, I don't want to give anything away. So
right.
she just, you know, she just, that's the odd for her to be around people that's like, or beings that are so much older than her, because, you know, her upbringing was a bit rough, so she seems and feels older to herself. I don't know.
That's why I asked you, because I just got the impression that no matter where she landed, she wasn't going to be around young people, so to speak.
Yep. She wasn't going to be. I mean, she was never really around. She was around young people growing up only in the sense of it's an academy type of setting. So it was a lot of training and stuff going on. It wasn't like, you know, she could, right. You know, she grew up like
she's
that.
She's probably the one that's more mature than everybody else.
Yeah, but she's like not old enough yet, you know. So, and then my antagonist, him, he is calculative, controlling, very demanding, but I guess those things usually run hand in hand with those type of people. The thing about him is that he has some kind of feelings for Allison, and that's the only creature that he has ever shown any kind of affection for in the story, and that kind of surprises anyone that knows him, because she's the only one that he ever showed any kind of affection for whatsoever. So there's that. But yeah, so he's something else. Him, you find out so much about him once you get to the third book in the series, because he's not exactly what he seems, to say the least. So,
well, I like layers.
So yeah, there's layers. There's all kinds of layers. But yeah, so Dee Winters, she'll probably get to answer the questions that she said makes her think. Yeah. It's a thinky question, no lie.
Right, because I
didn't know your characters, you know.
Yeah, because I would have been like, "Damn, how would they describe themselves?" And it was, for me, I had to step back a little bit and remember it's them describing themselves and not how other people
right?
Because yeah, it'd be altogether different thing. Altogether, like ridiculously different.
You got to think about the case of you describing yourself. Like, what would you say about yourself, and then you can hear other people talk about you and describe you.
I think it would match. I think my weirdness.
Like, I've heard other people make statements about me. I've heard people who don't like me say what you know, how I was or what they thought, and then I have my own. Well, they're not necessarily wrong, just they use the wrong words.
Right, but even
they say I'm intimidating. You know, like you're intimidating, and I'm like, do you mean confident? So you see,
I tell you how I feel about that. Like, even if they're correct, if a person who didn't like me said, "Oh, I don't like her, but she is a good writer," their words still don't matter to me.
They don't matter. That's the thing. So it's like, right. You know, it can be that way. I'm very, you know, demanding. I can be, and then it's just I expect.
Explain to them that means you're a boss.
Yeah, I can't. That can't help it. I'm a boss. It's just some people can't take the boss type of mentality, but hey, then I suppose I need to be around strong people. This is how it is.
They call sheeple.
Oh yeah, Dee Winters is like, the people who don't like you don't count. Laugh out loud. You're right about that. They sure don't. They want to make themselves count, but they don't.
I can't help it. That's how I feel. Like, and I mean that in the whole sense of that. If somebody really doesn't like you, you can't make how they feel matter to you.
It can't. It doesn't matter. But I always thought it was funny when I heard that. Actually, I just laughed. I always thought it was funny. So like, you're intimidating, or I heard I was cocky because I have a high IQ, and then they would, we have a conversation, and then they would say, "Well, you're sure of yourself, or you're cocky." I'm like, confidence is not the same thing as cockiness. And if I'm intelligent, I'm intelligent. So
how about I was in this improv group, and I shouldn't say improv group, it was a bigger group than that, but we used to do improv.
Yeah.
And we're all having a good old time doing what we got to do, getting it done, just knocking everybody's socks off. And then the head of the group going to pull me up one day. And he's like, he doesn't want me to participate in the group anymore because I'm upsetting other people in the group. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did I do? Like, well, they feel intimidated because you're so talented, you've done so much, and they feel like theirs doesn't compare. I said, I'm not gonna put a bushel over my damn light because somebody else's insecurity. I thought you were trying to say I hurt somebody's feelings. I don't play that.
Like, no, but like, get out of here with that. Like, how is that? Wait, how is that my problem?
In the stuff, I won't do anything. So you decide if you want to do it entirely.
Or I feel like, you should be going to them. Like, it's not my problem.
And if anything, I would rather be, and I've always said it, I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. I always want to learn something from somebody else. I want to know something different. And if I'm in an improv group because I'm trying to pick up my acting skills, the last thing I want is people to have less.
Yeah, what's that about?
So the fact that they all felt it was so important. I bet you it was just probably one person. And I'm going to go to him and say that they don't feel comfortable trying to work with me because I'm so good. Is that a damn thing? Is that for real?
That's weird. But yeah, it's her thing.
That was the most excuse me, I'm cussing. That's the craziest stuff I ever heard in my life.
I agree. Dude, Winter said, how is it they're feeling your problem? True. Like, how is that? What do you want me to do with that? I can't help you.
But I really hurt his feelings because I was like, if I can't do it, then I won't do anything. So decide if you want to lose me entirely or you want to cater to somebody who is weak-minded and insecure.
Well, see, that person right there, like you saying that would be like, I would say that's the person I want to deal with. I don't want sheep, and I don't want people who can't, like, oh, this person is better at this thing than me, so I want them gone because I have no competition. Like,
crazy.
I had to remove people like that from my life. I dealt with enough of those jealousies and all this and that. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. You have to go away. You have to go bye-bye. I don't have time for
Linda.
Like, bye-bye. I could talk for hours about that from the dance world. Hours. I could, but I'm not going to.
It's just crazy to me. And I understand that people have insecurities, but I'm sorry. I'm not going to let your insecurity make me have to feel like I have to be a shadow.
Never have I ever.
Cover up my life.
Me. It doesn't matter if someone was bad. You think because Zoe Jakes, or these are big name dancers who I think are skilled. Zoe Jakes or Rachel Bryce or whoever that's a big name was dancing the same show as me, and I was like, I'm not going after them.
Oh my goodness!
No way. I've had dancers have said that about other dancers, or they don't want to perform with them, or they'll have the same music. Let's say, because this is a big thing in dance world. Like, dancers performing to the same music in the same show. Literally, some dancers have had breakdowns at the show because the other dancer was going to be dancing the same music that they were going to dance to, and then they have to have a discussion and be like, "Well, you change your music, or let's ask somebody to change their music, or blah blah blah," or they're freaking out, or the other person be like, "No, that's a choreography, and I got to dance to that," and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't do this!" Like, and they freak out and stuff. I'm like, you're two different people. But then I've also seen it the cool way where there's been two dances where they're like, well, we both got the same music and come to the direct, like, we both got the same music. Is it cool that we both dance it? I'm doing this and this person's doing this style. So, those people are cool. Like, they know that it's going to be, it's you're doing it. Why does it matter? But no, you got people to lose it. You're like, Oh my god! Like I can't like.
I had that. I didn't not in a dance world. I had that happen to me. Performing when I'm singing. I was in a lot of singing competitions. Just to, cause I like to sing, and I am not like the world's greatest singer, but I'm a really good entertainer. You know,
Right.
so
I mean,
I
like
was.
Beyonce.
I
Let me
was in
stop.
this damn. So I was doing this song. I can't even think of the name of the song. Let's just pretend that it was Beat It. It wasn't. I'm just saying. And so um another person wanted to sing Beat It,
Yeah.
and she felt like she wasn't strong enough to sing it if I also sang it, because you were allowed to sing the same songs.
Oh,
And
okay.
so she came to me sweetly.
Uh-oh.
I'll give her that much, but I'm still me. And she came to me, she was like, please pick another song because I really want to sing Beat It. And for 2 seconds I actually considered it, because it wasn't like I couldn't sing anything else, and
Yeah.
her range was tighter, so she couldn't.
Yeah.
So, but then at the last time, I'm saying, no, you pick another song. You figure yourself out and pick a different song. I already put this in. I don't mind if we both do it. I'm not changing my song.
Yep.
So, and she was really sad about that, but I did help her find a song in her range, because she was equally insecure, but she wasn't a jerk. So I did try to help her out, but I wasn't changing my song. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, what's the difference? You're not
But
gonna probably just sing the
I
song.
have joked around. Like, I've had people who perform. Like, there was this girl. She just came out of the blue,
Mm.
and when I say she was amazing, I don't know. The angels was stroking her voice while she was singing, and she sang one of my opening songs that I open with almost every week,
Yeah.
and she killed it. It was like the song now belongs to her, and so.
Think about.
Right, but she never seen me before. She never met me. She didn't know I sing this song every week. She just came in to sing it. And so I picked a different song. But when I got up, I was right behind her. And I did make a joke like, so y'all gonna make me follow her? That ain't right. But I really was and I didn't care. And then I sang a different song.
Right, exactly. But I mean, it's just that thing. It's just some people are like that, but I'll never understand it, and that's why I clashed with a lot of people, because I didn't get the jealousy and the lack of confidence, because I had confidence, and
You were
then
supposed to shrink and be all upset about that,
the
and
jealousy
be
thing is just
intimidated
no.
by all the green-eyed monsters. And I just don't operate like that. I don't get jealous,
Yeah,
and I don't accept jealousy.
I know
Oh,
it's
I took a
what.
test one time. This is terrible. I was like 19, and me and my friend Gerald were heavy into Cosmo. Every month Cosmo had a different
Yeah,
test.
of
And
course.
they did this, how jealous are you? I was like, ooh, let's do that. So we took the test, and she came out as ridiculously jealous and need to get some therapy. And mine came out, you need some therapy too, because you need to care about something. So I'm thinking, oh, I got these low points. I'm not jealous. Like, well, you're unhealthy as far as your level of
That's
don't give a fuck.
that's hilarious. That's Cosmo though for you.
Right. I was
But
like, I
oh
don't
my
care what
god.
Cosby says.
No,
I'm
I
healthy.
kid you not. I've had some people try me because they know I was, nice, but then they didn't know that there is another side.
Right. Don't let the smooth taste fool you.
Yes, and I had one dancer, literally. You had those people that think they passive aggressive, or they'll try to say sly little comments and
Yeah,
stuff.
I hate that.
Right?
That's called cowardice.
Exactly. I actually was at an event, at a big event, a festival, and I got my stuff all set up and everything, and I'm just dancing outside. And this dancer, like, I know who she is and stuff, and she comes up to me, and she's at my tent and whatever. And then she says, like, I'm dancing, and all these people are starting to walk as a festival, so they like stopping and watching and stuff, and taking pictures and everything, and I'm dancing and stuff. So my music playing. And then when I come back to my tent to rest from the sun, she's like standing there, and she literally says, like, I guess she's going to dance or whatever, which is whatever, is an open festival. And she says under her breath, but enough where I could hear it. And she says,
Right.
yeah. She says, looks on what she says, how she says it, looks on everything, right? Like, Excuse me? Like looks on everything. Like when she goes,
what was the point you were trying to make? That's
she's implying like, oh, you're pretty, because actually, literally, I hear it all the time. I don't care. I don't have one of those complexes like, oh, I'm the hot shit. That's not me either. I'm not a diva. I'm not the type that doesn't roll on me well. And she was like, that's what she meant, because I used to get from them all the time. Oh, you're so pretty. Even when they were like sitting there on a forum trying to insult me and bully me and stuff, they kept coming out saying like, yeah, but you're so pretty and stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did I ask you? Like, and then she's like, oh, looks on everything. Then she goes to dance or whatever. Wow. And I'm looking at her like this, like, oh, you try and insult my skill, or you trying to say, well, you're not, oh, my not pretty.
Because you're attractive.
I'm like, I don't.
It ain't because of your skills.
I'm like, okay, it's more like bye, Felicia, because I've been doing it a long time, so I'm skilled. I know this. Second of all, if you're jealous of the looks and the rack, because you said other comments about that, then jog on, because I don't care.
If the fact that she wanted to make sure that you heard her, again, those kind of people, and I hate to show my completely mean side, but those kind of people are laughable. Because if
she thought she was a joker too, so she's like, well, I can make a joke and be like saying in a joking manner, but be like, oh, and say what I really feel. But if she come at me like angry, then I can say, oh, I was just joking. That was the type of person she is. So right. I was like,
the type of person she is, she would only make that mistake once. Because I'm like,
yeah, well, she got learned too. They all the ones that tried to pull that kind of stuff learned. They made a mistake. Her and one other dancer made a mistake, and it came on my Facebook. On a post I made that had nothing to do with anyone, and had a conversation on my post while I wasn't home. Wow. I was at work. I come home, check my stuff, and they had a conversation on my post. I laid into both of them. I said, first of all, don't come on my post making conversation about me, like you talking about me, but talking around it because you're passive aggressive and weak.
Weak, coward.
Yeah. And you're trying to do it in public because you're a coward and you think you got a little bit of backbone because you got a little person backing you up or something. I'm over here laughing like, you are really on my post right now talking about yourself because you think the post is about you. Believe me, I don't even think about you at all. So you just made me think about you because you're putting yourself right here in front of me. Yeah, which isn't good for you now. So now I get you straight. And be like, oh, then you want to flip it around like, oh, we're friends and stuff. No, we're not. No, we're not. You talked behind my back. You always talked behind my back.
You are the little
culprit. You're the little flea. So stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go on Facebook talk and having conversations about you on your stuff.
Right. I had two guys come on my wall and have a full-blown argument. It was like, by the time I saw it, it was like 35 posts. I'm like, oh, y'all bumped y'all damn heads. I deleted the whole damn thing. Go on your walls and have that kind of conversation. This is the Aphrodite friendly hour. I talk bullshit on Facebook. Facebook ain't real. Facebook is fun. And if you make it anything less than fun, you can't be on my wall.
Yeah, people are just goofy. Like they think they can use the internet as their like playground, and they cowards. So they figure they'll do that. Be like, I'll do it here because they can't. Like, I can hide. And be like, look, I'm not the type of person that's going to attack you because I have very good self-control. Because if I didn't, there would be a lot of. I would be in prison. Okay, so I have very good self-control, and I think before I do things. So. You can go ahead and say whatever you want to my face. Only thing that's going to end is if you did have self-esteem, is over. I will destroy you with words.
That's my mom. My mom
want to see the light of day again.
But here's my thing: like, I don't have good self-control. If I get mad, I get mad. But I will say this in my defense: it takes a lot to make me mad. It really does. I mean, you know me for years.
Yep. I don't think I've ever seen you angry like that type of anger.
Right. It takes a lot to get me there because I'm gonna be honest with you. I do like to see other sides of stuff first, and then I always take into consideration. Like for instance, you know how you go to a restaurant and the waitress is just the worst.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and be the maddest person in the world because his or her service was terrible, the attitude was terrible. Or I can say, I don't have no idea what's going on with her right now. I don't have no idea what's going on with him right now. I'm just going to ignore him. He blew his tip. But I'm not going to take no more. I'm not going to get into any kind of altercation with this person. I'm not going to go to their boss. You know.
First off, if somebody in food want to be angry and stuff, like if they that angry, I'm probably rolling out. Like I'm not.
I do the opposite though. If somebody comes to my table and they really like, I can see they're in a bad mood or they got an attitude, and they can have an attitude. It could be the worst scenario. It could be some fat black bitch sat in my booth and I don't want to deal with her. It could be that bad.
Well, see me, I roll out. I've been in situations like don't mess with my food. I'm
so touchy feely. I will be so. Girl, smile. So and so and such and such. Yes, I will be so fucking ridiculous that everybody who's with me is like, if you don't stop, I'm like, no, she don't want me to touch her. I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna touch her for sure.
So I'm gonna do it. And she wants to give me attitude because she wants me to give it back. She ain't getting her way. I can't help it.
I know, right?
But then, and you blew your tip, so
your tip
and
is
I'm not
bye-bye.
And I'm not gonna eat your food because I don't.
All right. Yeah. We probably should start a writing sometime. We've been talking for like.
Did we do the question?
We did do the think question. We have one more when we come back from our writing. Right. So let's get a 15 and that means we will be back around 9:27. So we'll just make it even 9:30. We'll come back in and then we'll do
something different. I'm gonna start something else because my eyes ain't gonna hang with us.
That's cool. And then we're gonna do 15. Do 15. Let's just do a little bit longer. We'll just go to 9:30. So we'll come back in 9:30, and then we will do the last question, and then we will talk for a little teeny bit, and then try to get our third one in so we can finish up a little bit before 10 o'clock. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's roll. I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1, and write. Okay, and we're back.
I realized I started talking and my mic wasn't back on yet.
You were like, what?
And I was like,
I know.
maybe I should turn the mic back on.
I did finish my blurb, so I'll just have to edit it. I think it's good enough for the back. They don't need to know everything. Gotta remember that. Hard to remember that.
I probably have a day of blurb writing and just knock out a few because I have a whole bunch of manuscripts that are like at 80, 90%. So I
Lucky
might as
you.
well do those and then before I go back in.
I'm afraid to write any of my other ones yet until I finish revising Chronicles of Cagliostro and then editing it because I have to have it ready by the first week of April for my editor to send
Right.
it to her. So I kind of trying to focus on that. But I have so many stories I could be outlining and stuff, but I don't want to
Right.
box
Stay
anything with
on
that.
deadline. So
Yeah, I know
I feel
deadline.
you on that. I just
But
went through that.
I know it's scary. So let's do the third question. This is still about characters. How do they talk? Your three characters.
Oh, you go first.
Okay. So Cagliostro talks very. What's the word I want to say? He talks very. I don't want to say stoic. He has a deep voice. Um, I don't know. I think he speaks very sexy, kind of.
Kind of suave.
I would say he has an old world touch to him, the way he speaks, simply because of when he was born and stuff. Such you can't really help that. Even though he's been alive all the time, he never lost his old world flair, so to speak. So he does speak old world tongue a bit and devoiced, and he speaks very very intelligently. So he articulates very well for sure. So as I told you, he's a business type and straight to the point type. So follow that, and pretty much goes well together.
Right.
My protagonist is also old world, speaks otherworldly the way he talks, so a lot of people don't understand what he's beating around the bush too because of that. Um, and talks in the sense of what the word I'm looking for here, as if he's your god. That's how he.
Okay.
This is how he speaks. He like child to everyone, even if it seems like someone who's older than him. That's how he speaks to everyone because
Gotcha.
he sees himself as such. So you are going to treat him as such. That's how he speaks. He doesn't have a lot of friends, obviously.
I can imagine. Because how could he? If he's God, he's on a different level.
Yeah, right. And Allison speaks very alarm. I know we're about to start. Um, Allison speaks very straightforward. She speaks direct. Um, she's kind of her speech is a little more laid back, more our world type of speak. She is.
Where's she from? Is she from the United States?
She is from the United States. So she would obviously have that type of attitude. Some
Oh
people seem to
Lord.
think we do. Um, she grew up rough, but she wasn't around any other people but the people that were in the same area she was. So she speaks pretty plainly. She's not she can have a sense of humor when she wants to, but she is very direct because of the seriousness of her life and upbringing. So um but she can crack a joke when she wants to, but then sometimes when others crack jokes, she may not be on the same page, so to speak. But yeah, so that's Allison. All right, your turn.
I'm going to start with Chase because Chase is the easiest one.
Sure.
Chase is like Clark Kent, mild mannered, he comes off the way he speaks is very polite and
Mhm.
genuine and um even tone the whole nine. He doesn't set off any alarms.
Yeah,
He's
that's the
very
worst. That's his worst.
he
That's the
yeah,
worst weapon, man.
especially for him. He's very Eddie Haskell.
Mm.
So but he's really, I don't want to say sophisticated, but sophisticated for a 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he's
You can
capitalist.
tell he comes from money,
Hmm.
but that money isn't his concentration.
Yeah,
So
get that.
yeah, so that's him. And Aaliyah, she's very soft spoken. She's a lot like Chase in the opposite way.
Yeah.
She's soft spoken, so you're gonna immediately think, oh, she's shy, she's reserved. She is not,
Hmm.
but that's the impression you would get from her at first. Um, she speaks perfect English because her mom is a teacher and her mom wouldn't have anything less. She
Mm.
doesn't have slang in her normal language unless she's talking to other kids.
Hmm.
So she doesn't break her diction doesn't break at all.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so ingrained in her that a lot of times that even in front of other kids she still sounds that way, and
Yeah.
until she loosens up a little bit and like, oh yeah, fuck this. But it's yes, not yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. She doesn't do that normally, for the most part. Um, but she's soft spoken, but she's not. I don't know what that word is. Like it's not quiet.
Yeah.
So
Not
she
quite.
speaks softly, but it still projects. There you go.
Yeah.
She projects.
Yeah.
Um, Spencer has a really deep voice,
Hmm.
which is also contrast to his looks.
Looks. Yeah.
Spencer looks. Spencer is referred to as pretty, like
Hmm.
almost he's effeminate, even
Hmm.
though he doesn't act that way.
Yeah. He just looks that
He
way.
looks that way, and then
Yeah.
when you hear the voice, it kind of throws you because the voice is like in the basement.
You like
Um,
what?
he he speaks kind of slow when he's talking to Aaliyah, and
Hmm.
fast when he's talking to anybody else because he just wants to dismiss them.
Oh, I get that.
He wants to be like, I'm done talking to you
You know,
now.
you need
I've
to stop talking about Spencer. I like him. I'm starting to like him a little too much. A deep voice and cute, pretty face.
deep
What?
voice with
Guy,
the
that's Guide all over right there.
girl. Stop. I
Like,
was on him for like 2 days. Ugh.
Rain is kind of like that in my opinion. Like, he's got a deep voice, but he's pretty. You know.
Ah,
So it's like,
that's
what's
like
going on? Try to trick people. Stop it. You know.
Rain is
That's
like that, and then
dangerous.
T.O.P. In
Hmm.
Big Bang.
You know what? Japanese men and Korean
Ooh,
men do that a lot. With Japanese men even more so. They'll be like, they'll have pretty guys, and then they'll like speak, and you be like,
right, and the voice would be like all the way in the basement, like, dude, that's some Larry Graham voice,
like
and that's
I'm like, where your basement at? Let me stop.
and the thing that I think about the first time that you hear Spencer speak, because his voice was so deep, it startled her. It startled Aaliyah. That's how she felt. She's like, "Who the fuck is talking to me?" And this really pretty boy standing there with these big emerald eyes. And I made sure that I
Yeah.
said emerald because he doesn't have light green eyes. He has dark green eyes.
Why you be making dangerous characters? Stop it.
His sister has the minty green eyes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. And
It's
so
pretty funny.
he has that deep, but he's like he talks to Aaliyah like he's always explaining. He's
Hmm.
real slow. Everybody else is like, yes, I did that. Go away. He doesn't. He don't want to be bothered because he just wants to get back to wherever Aaliyah
I
is.
understand that one. What's on that?
So I'm Dar. I just have to throw Dar in there because Dar
Oh
is funny.
God.
Dar talks like somebody on straight pixie dust, crack cocaine, Kool-Aid, some Red Bulls, and she says 85 different things in the same sentence,
You're like,
and you
what?
still
Come on,
understand
girl.
her.
That's too funny.
Like, oh my God, I have way too much hair. Am I wrong? And that, can we go to so and so, such and such, and blah blah blah. And like, for real, did you see what that bitch did? Oh my God, that's Dar. A
I
mile a
know that's
minute.
too funny. I love that. I don't know if anybody in the comments wants to answer that question. If you can type up the answer, and when we come back from our write-in, we will read the answers that you put if you want to answer the question. We will jump right into our next write-in so we can fit it in. I think we're gonna have to cut back on the 15, just make it a 10-minute write-in so we can wrap at 10 o'clock because we're
It says
pushing
it's
our time.
9:42, so we actually can do the
Can we
15.
do it?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, you're right. We probably can't.
I don't know if we can push it in or not. We may be able to.
We'll push. We'll
We can
see.
push it in. We can try to push it in. If we do 15, then we can still come back in before 10, but we'll have to wrap up to finish up at 10. Yep.
Right.
Alrighty. I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1, and right. See you in 15. We'll try 15. And we're back. 15 minutes. Yay. Why are you applauding? You glad I'm done?
She's like, yay.
Silly baby.
I had a question to ask you. What how did the cover look when you saw it?
Oh, I think it turned out pretty good. I think that I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think that the words over top of the 7 are just a little less high quality, but it still turned out pretty good, I think.
You mean that it looked blurred or pixelated?
A little pixelated. Less blurry, but
I
a
was
little
trying to do that, but if it doesn't work for it, I'm gonna fix it.
Okay.
Hey, little girl.
They have a little crazy stuff. Why are you laying in a chair, girl? So look at that crazy hair.
I could just barely see her. Oh, there she is. I see her now.
Teeny self. Yeah, she was clothes. Are you messing with that basket of clothes now? You know I just got those, girl.
Like, oops, I'm swarthy.
And why is my gold slipper down there instead of up top on the bookcase?
Are you asking questions? That's like, why do I live with a 2-year-old? That's why.
Got that right. But yeah, so I think it doesn't look that bad actually. I think it looks good, pretty good, considering you have to be like hurry up and rush and do a cover. It has a shine to it too. The gloss, it has a gloss on it.
Yeah, I made it glossy because I felt like because it was a smut book that it should be glossy, and my other one was matte.
Good point. Good point.
I was like, let me just make it shiny. Minx will like it shiny.
This is true.
Girl, chase any shit.
Okay, Sarah, we hear you, girl.
I went through as you know, I'm trying to beat you all with the
reading the book.
The proof. Yeah. So I'm going through and I'm finding a little teeny easy fix mistake. And then I get to the scene where if you remember when Chase walked up to them all our girls at the table and invited them to a party?
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember that dry snitch Chase did when he says, well, if you guys change your mind, Miss Patient knows the way?
Mm-hmm.
I read that. I was like, oh, shit, he ain't right. That is just cold.
Yeah.
Because we got to be putting that girl out there like she been over there, man.
You know he like to play them
games. He just can't be nice, man. He just
cannot. And then he regrets it like later.
Yeah. And he was also insinuating something that wasn't 100% true because she was over at the apartments when Pierce was there.
Yeah, he's trying to be all,
right. And so, and he's got his little sneaky, kind of like he's got some video footage of Pierce and Pooey, but not doing anything compromising. Like they were kissing.
Yeah.
And that's what she decided that she just didn't want to be a part of that. And he was like, it kind of broke his heart. But then put him in the clutches of Barbara.
Yeah.
But you don't even find that out till the next book.
Later, yeah.
I mean, you have in this book, you have indications like when he said to her, hey, not take me back, but oh my goodness, beautiful as ever. And they're like real friendly with each other. You could tell something was up, but you don't know the whole thing of it until the next book. Unless you're watching this, then you know.
Sure.
Okay, that's not one a plot spoiler. That's just a situation spoiler, so to speak.
Sure. All right. Well, I guess we should wrap up here. I don't know who's still with us. So probably not too many people. So we did do all our questions. We did fit them all in. We got 3 write-ins in, which is really good. Got some stuff done. I did finish my blurb. I still have to edit the rest of it. I did get some editing done on it. Sound like you got some more of your reading done, which is important for your deadlines. But yeah, you can go ahead and do your outro thingy, and then I'll do mine.
Well, my lovelies, I right now I have a book out um by my mixed Kenosha name called Encounters, the Seven Erotic Sins. Please get a chance to go pick it up. If you pick up the paperback, I have it where you can get the
ebook free.
Ebook for free. So I finally finished the fight with them and I got that.
Yeah, you can go
if and the ebook is $2.99. So please go get it. Please, if you do get it, hey, let me know that you got it so I can be like,
you can leave a
give
review.
You a shout out, and then please leave a review.
It's real important.
So it helps me. It helps me keep the numbers up because it's doing really well, which is absolutely surprising me considering I've done no promo or anything else with it whatsoever. So I'm really excited about that. I'm like, I'm over the moon about that and the shock. So, Shattered, the big book, is slated for April if everything goes accordingly. That's the best way to put it. If you are interested in being an ARC reader, doing the ARC thing, please hit me up and let me know because I still need some couple more people. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right, cool. I do have your links below. You guys can go check out her book. Yeah, it's down there. I was double checking, making sure that was down there. So definitely check that out. I am currently working on still revising and editing Chronicles of Cagliostro. My links are below. You know, I'm author DL Tillery on my channel, so obviously, if you don't, you know now. So you can go check out any of my books that are coming. I don't have anything out currently that's in book form. I do have a short story that I just published on my website and will be showing up in the Writers Unite blog sometime this month. The rest of this month, only like a week and a half left. But if you go to my website, which is linked below, it is if you like horror, it is a horror short story called The Room Within. And that one's on my website. If you go on my website, you'll see a tab that says my monthly short horror stories. And short stories, and you can click on that and read it. It's not that long. I think it's just over 2,000 words, so it's a quick read for some people, maybe not for all. And then I have
and it's a smooth read.
Yeah, it should be. It's very smooth. Yeah, so that's all I have going on right now. As you know, I upload weekly. My schedule has changed a little bit, so I've been uploading just Monday and Wednesday. My Friday has been cut back, so I still do upload at least once a week if I do miss my Monday, because Monday is my book of the week video, and my Wednesday is my writer talk and my update. That's my writer talk videos, which is my update videos, and my writing process videos. I go back and forth on those. And like I said, if you want to read any of my work, you can find out what I have coming. I do paranormal and horror and romance. So I mix those three together sometimes, or two of them together, different things sometimes. But yeah, go to my website and check it out. The books I have coming, I have a few releases planned for 2020, and Chronicles of Cagliostro is planned for late 2019. So we shall see what's happening with that.
Right
but yeah.
On.
I will see you next week. We're planning to be over on author Aphrodite Lee's channel for our weekly write-in. So you can, if you're not subscribed to her, go subscribe to her and you can get the update for when that pops up. It's always on Tuesday around 8 o'clock. If we're running late, you will see the notice that we're running a little late, but we're always around 8 o'clock-ish, 8:30-ish.
Right. Super Villanova wanted to know what the questions are. Can you put the questions in the description section?
Yeah, I can do that. I can put the questions down. Supernova, I'm sorry you're running in late. We are wrapping up. We've been here about 2 hours. Like I said, we are here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock if you want to join us next time. The questions I will put in the in the description and in the comments section. But if you would like, I can say them now. I still have a few minutes. I can run through them real quick for you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
So I don't
And
mind.
real quick, I forgot to say this,
Mm-hmm.
that my vlogs will be started back up again. I finally got my I was missing some equipment, so I couldn't put my vlogs up, but they'll be back starting next week.
Cool. So Nova, the questions for tonight were to do with behavior of your characters. So the first question was, how does your top 3 characters, your protagonist, your antagonist, your helper / love interest, describe themselves? So how do they describe themselves? So you answer that one first, and then the next one is related to that in the sense of how do they carry themselves / behave. So
Right.
you just explain how they do those 2 things, how they behave or how they carry themselves. And number 3 was, how do they talk? So their speech, how do they carry themselves through speech? So you feel free to answer the question. We will come back and definitely check the answers. No problem. And hopefully we will see you next week, and you catch us around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, everyone, we're going to roll out of here. We will see you next week on Aphrodite Lee's channel. Good night.
Right on.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.